Hello, welcome to this video. I'm here with Cyril. Hello, Cyril.
Hi everyone.
And today I want to show you a tool I've created the last week that allow you to trigger some action on your PC from your phone. It's super easy to use, super easy to craft, and the only requirement is to know about Unity. So if you like that, if you want to make your own macro on your phone for your PC, feel free to continue this video, else it will be a bit kind of useless for you. So further ado, let's go to a demo. So the idea is that here you have my toolbox that you can access by typing helloastray.page.link.toolbox/toolbox. You have here a tool that is called Java Open Macro UDP and Unity Directory Storage Utility. I will show you how to use it in Unity, but basically these both links allow you to create what I will show you in this video. To make it run, you need an application here that is called Java OMI Runtime. Basically, it's an application that will run, as you can see here, on your PC, and that will translate your request to action on the PC. So type on the keyboard, copy paste a code, or anything. Move your mouse, etc. For the demo, here, I will launch one of my applications I've done recently. Yep. That's the demo scene that you will receive in my package. So here, as you can see, if I click on my phone here, yeah, you don't see, yep. If I click here on my phone, I can request, for example, to press S. By saying S, and the arrow to the bottom mean you press but you don't release. But I want to release the S, so I will repress S and to the top. And if I do that, when I will say send, it will, as you can see, it received the instruction of typing S, and so it type S. You will say, yeah, but it's a bit of pain in the ass to just type all that on the phone. I agree with you, and so that's why we have here some other buttons that allow you to click and create any character you want. You will say, yeah, it's cool, but it's kind of, yeah, it's not super amazing. Yeah, but wait. You can also decide to type some text at the front of the line or at the front of the text. So for example, here I have a list, and in Markdown, you can create some list by doing a small character in front. So here we go. We have now a list. If we want a toggle list, I mean one that we can toggle in Markdown, you can also ask to have a toggle list. Or you can have commentary. But if I want to have more on the text, if I want to show a bit more about, sorry. If you want to make a lot of other action, it's just your skill of coding those tools that is limiting you. So you can really do crazy stuff with that. I have also another functionality that is really cool. That is the fact that you can open a website from your phone. So you can you can click on your phone and boom, it's open the website. So if you are interested in this kind of application, you are on the good video, and I will continue to explain a bit how to code it and how to do your own. If you don't care about this kind of tool, then you can leave the video, because the rest of the video is just me explaining how to create your own in Unity. So we'll continue in that direction. So you like this kind of application, you want to have it, okay. You need to create a Unity project. Oh yeah, sorry, it's a bit messy, but one stuff that is important for you to understand too is that you basically, when you press a button, it sends a UDP message. It means a message that will go to your network through Wi-Fi, and that will arrive on my PC. It means that I need to target something. I need to target a PC. So here you have a small section that allows you to say where you send this message. So you need to put the little box in configuration here, and you can now target the IP address So it means that if I want to target another PC, I can just here type the address of the other PC. And when you talk to a PC, you need to say, I'm this application and I send the message on this part of the PC. And that is what we call a port. And here you need to type the port. You say, yeah, but how can I know that it is this IP and this port? You can see that in the application I show you here that received the message, you have here the IP address and here you have the port. This menu here on the top, it allows you just to say if you want to send it to all or none. It's because you can also do some tool with the code I give you that targets several PCs. So if you want to press a button and affect 4 PC, you can also do that. I will not show you that in this video, but basically look a bit how it's constructed and you can easily do that. So let's go to see how you can do it in Unity. So you need to open Unity at least 2018 because I'm using the package manager of Unity for you to have an easy install. So I create a new project here. I give it a name, delete me please, because I will delete it just after this video. Put it in the folder, in the directory you want. Hey. Create. So it will create a new Unity. I think here I selected 2020. If you are new about Android, how to build on your phone, know that in the past that was really complex, but here in Unity you just need to install Unity and say I want to have Android, and basically that's almost all. There is some small detail, but I invite you to go on YouTube or on Google and to type how to build Android application with Unity 2018 or 2020. And you will have plenty of video explaining how easy it is and what you need to do. It's not the subject of the video, so it's why I'm telling you that, because else the video will be really long. While it's opening Unity, because currently it's opening Unity, I will just remind you that here, that's the toolbox where you can have the code, you have the tooling here. So if I check what these tooling are, basically it's what we call a Unity package. So what's a Unity package? It's a Git, so it's a storage online that I can easily update by typing some commands. And in this Git there is something that we call package.json, and this package.json will just say, okay, this package has this ID that it is here Eloistre Unity directory storage. He has some name, he has a Unity version that explains that it only works from minimum this version, description, etc. There is some dependency, but the problem is that I don't master it enough, and Unity was not ready enough some months ago to be able to download automatically what he needs. But at the end, it's what Unity wants. So basically, you should just download one link, but here, as it's not ready, you have to download 2. And so as you can see, I have a second package here. And in this package, in runtime, you have the classic Unity code and Unity asset and demo and etc. So you are not downloading a Unity project, you are downloading a small code that you can use in your Unity project. So Unity is ready. So how can you download that and use that? You just open a new project Unity like I show you, you do project manager here, and the project manager look like this. As you can see, Unity, it's a new tool of Unity if you don't know it because you are from the old school, that allow you to download a lot of stuff. For example, here we can see that Unity by default have already installed some tool for me that allow me to test some stuff, to check the timeline, to use the UI interface of Unity, to synchronize my work when I work with a teammate. For example, if I don't like this one because I know I want to work with that, I can put remove and whoop, it removed it. And like this, I just remove some code that is not useful to my project. So that's really a powerful tool that Unity has created it here, and that's why now every code I do is on that. So here you have a plus, an add here, and you can say add from a Git URL. So I will take the Git URL that I show you here. So this project, you go in the project here. You don't. It's not that you need to copy. It's here. Clone with HTTP, and you clone this link. You copy this link. You put it here. Add. It will reload. It will download the package. So it takes just a little bit of time.
Eloi?
Yeah.
Just a question. In my case, when you click on the plus icon,
yeah,
you just have the from disk option.
From disk
So
option.
okay.
Yeah. It's a good point. So if you're working in the old version of Unity and not the 2020, and that's the case of my friend here, you don't have yet Git URL because Unity is evolving all the time and did not add that to the old version. So how you can do that? The old way, it's basically you close the package manager, you make a right click here on the assets, you say show me in Explorer, so it will open your Windows project, the place where your Windows project is. Here asset is where you have all your stuff, library is where Unity store plenty of temporary stuff. And if you go in package, there is something that is called a manifest.json.
Yeah.
If you open that with your text editor, here is Visual Studio for me, but it can be anything. It's opening, just wait a second. You will be able to see a long list here, a long list of tools that Unity is using in your project. Okay, as you can see, when you say I want to be able to serialize my object, it's because Unity has this tool here in the first version of Unity. And here, as you can see, what I add with the tool of Unity, it's just this line. It's saying I have a tool that has this ID, and here is where you can download it. So I will show you how to download, how to do that. Hop. For example, here I have downloaded this one with the UI, but if I want to do it manually with the other one, I will go to the package.json to know what name, what ID the tool has. So hop. I will go over there and I will say I want to download this one. It's you have to respect the grammar really perfectly. So it's the name of the tool, dot, double dot. Then you give where you store this tool. So here it's the link I showed you earlier, this one. Up, and you copy that here. Okay. So you need to do that for the both projects. So if you are on the old version, you need to do it for Unity directory here and Java UADP. Okay. Is it okay from your side, Cyril? You succeed to do it?
That's perfect.
If you want to update the code, for example, you want to have the new code that I have done recently, what you need to do is just come here and you remove what we call a locker. So the locker is the stuff that that will say don't update because we don't want to update the code automatically. We want to update only when you want it. So here, if I remove that, it means now that it's not locked, that it will update it the next time I go in Unity. So I will go in Unity, and as you can see, he will download all the projects that are not locked. So it means my Java project and my directory project. So the both link I gave you. Maybe you will ask yourself, why do I need to package here? It's because you will work with Android, and basically you don't want to type the IP of your PC and the port of your PC each time you reopen the application. So the first link that is, I will show you directly in the navigator. So this one that is called Unity Directory Storage Unity. It's basically a tool that allows you to save some data, not in your application folder, but in the disk of the user. So why I'm doing that is because if you store it in your application folder, each time you reinstall the application, it erases all the data. So it's really boring when you are a developer because each time you make a small update, you need to retype everything in your application. So here it will be stored directly on the hard drive of the user. So you can access it directly. It's a security problem, but here we don't care of security. It's just your tool that you are creating for you. So okay, so now that you have done that, if you have done that, you should have here, as you can see, one folder that is called Java Open Macro UDP, and another one that is called Unity Directory Storage Utility. Is it the case for you?
No, because I have errors.
You have errors?
He can resolve the package.
He can download the package?
No.
For me it worked. So is it because I asked the wrong Unity version and you download it? Or did you download the both of them correctly?
I copy the two links.
So here you have the same format as me here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unity.
Maybe what you can try, just to be sure, is to first download the Unity directory and then download the Java Open Macro UDP. So
I put them in the order first Unity and second Java.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is just maybe try just to put this first to do that. So you just put this one.
Okay.
Just this one. You go in Unity. Oh yeah, and you need to remove the locker because for the moment the application is the package you have downloaded already is locked. So you remove the locker here.
Yeah, I don't have it in my.
Okay, then it means that it did not download anything.
Okay.
If you have the problem on your screen on your side, feel free to continue watch how we solve that. If you don't have the problem, feel free to go a bit like 5 minutes forward or 2 minutes forward, because I will try to fix it with him. So you downloaded. So you did try with only one link.
Yeah, and
can you maybe show your screen if you can?
Yeah. This one, where it is? Okay, screens. Oh no. Okay,
okay, no problem. C'est bon. It's okay too. So here you have an error occur while resolving the package. You don't have the Unity one, you don't have this one, and he said oh, I think maybe I know what it is. Can you do Windows R?
Yeah.
CMD. Okay, and then you type git status, git espace status. Okay. I forgot to tell you that to use the Git tool of Unity, you need to have Git on your PC, and also you need to have Git as an URL on your system environment. So I will show you how to do that, and Cyril to do that on your side. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So for install Git, I will ask you to go see another video because else it will be very, very long. But if you don't want to install Git and know how to install Git, try to install SourceTree.
I have Git.
You have Git? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the problem is that I don't know where my where my Git is.
If you look at
installed.
my screen, you can see that Git is installed.
Git. So we need to know where is the executable of the Git. It's what I'm
Okay.
looking for. CMD Git. Usually I go on SourceTree and I check where they installed the Git commands. But here apparently it's in program Git CMD. So I will try to see if it is well over there. So Git. Here we have Git, but I will just check here. That's what I need. So if here you type CMD on the Windows panel, here
Yeah.
you should be able to type git status. And here it's alright, he just said, yeah, but it's not a Git repository, but it means at least that the git exe, the executable of Git, is working. So what you will do, you will take this link here of where this git exe, oh yeah, no, not this one. This. I want this one. Okay, this one. So you take where is the folder with the git exe.
Yeah.
You go on Windows and you type system environment. Yeah, it's in French, but basically you're looking for something that is called environment system.
Yeah, I have it.
Variable environment system. Okay. You have this Windows that will appear. You have variable d'environnement, so environment variable.
Yeah.
Here. And here you should have something that is called path. And in path, you will be able to modify it. So here it's the path of plenty of tool that is available for you from the command line. So we'll add a new one and we will copy the one of Git. Here.
I have it already.
You have it already?
The program file git cmd.
Git cmd. Wait, I will watch your screen. How do I do to have you in full screen? Git cmd. Yeah, but it was not git cmd. It was something like bin/bin.
Okay, so new.
So
Like this.
Yeah, this one. Okay. So, how to know if it worked? Maybe on my PC it will not work anymore because I have two of them. But basically, you do like I said to him, so Windows R, CMD here. You have this Windows that is appearing, and if I do git status, I can see that he is saying I don't have a git repo, so it means that it works. Is it working on your side?
I have the same error. Yeah.
You mean the no git repository or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it means that Git is installed on your PC and that your PC have the link to be able to add some commands to it and so to do stuff.
Okay.
So cool, nice. So now you can go back in Unity where we were. So you add the two link like previously. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, so. Okay.
Okay, save. Yeah, it's why this video is done with Cyril. It's because it allows me to check when I forgot something that is obvious and that will block on your side. Sorry, the video is a bit long, but that's life, man. If you want to learn, you need to try. So how it's going on your screen?
Okay, I return back. Oh, I have the error again.
You have the error again?
Yeah.
Okay, I will watch your screen, and if it's not fixed, I think we'll make a publicity break, and as I don't have advertising, it will be a break. But yeah. So we'll try to fix this issue, but probably I will need to do some cut in the video, so see you in some second apparently. Or in some minutes if I did not cut. Discord, where are you? Because I want to see your screen.
Sinon, tu peux mettre pause sur OBS.
There is a pause? Yeah, there is a pause, but... Hello again. So basically, what happened? Can you show... So if you look at the screen of Cyril for the moment, that is correcting his mistake.
Oh.
Basically, you can see that there is a blue logo clone, and in this blue logo there is a URL, and this is the URL you need to use. And as you can see, when he will modify the code here, in the first version he did not use this URL. So how I did observe that is because there is not .git at the end. It varies from the server, so if it's GitHub, if it's GitLab or any other server, it will not be the same URL. So be careful to really use the GOT URL. So now that he do that, you'll be able to... Yeah, it's working, man. We'll be able to continue the video. So now he got on his PC my tool that allow him to create his own macro launcher. Yay! So I will put his stuff over there. So now that you have that on your PC, what happened is that you have some code here. So if I open if I want to open a scene, for example, I want to try this code. As you can see, it will not work. Why? It's because the package manager works in read-only way. So it means that you cannot modify at all the code of people that is giving you the code. The code of there. Sorry, of mine here. So what you need to do is you take the scene and you do a duplicate on the assets of in your project. So here you can see that now I have the Unity scene of my package, but in my project. And if I open this one, yeah, it works. So the first that I opened was Unity directory storage. Why? It's just to show you that if you want to understand a bit the code of this one, you should not succeed to do it. Because there is no demo for this one apparently. Okay, there is no demo for this one. Yeah. So it's because yeah, the big problem of the package manager is that you do a code and you do another one and you update the first one and then you update the second one and some link can be broken, some demo can be broken. So it quickly becomes a mess. So there is a lot of good parts, but there's also a lot of bad parts. So we'll go directly to the demo of the tool. It will be more easy. So you go in Java Open Macro UDP, you go in the scene of this one, and you copy demo in your project. Now if I open demo up, you can see
that's better.
that you have an example, a demo of a working code. Yeah. So if you want to modify nothing and test on your phone, how you would do that, because you don't know how to create your project yet, because you're really a noob. If it's not the case, you can go a bit far in the video. You add the current scene you're working on, so click here to add the current scene. You say that you want to have some Android, so here you make switch platform. So here it's recompiling for Android. Because for the moment we are creating the tool for Windows. It works on Windows, so if you want to make an application on another PC that is sending information to another one, you can use it for Windows. There is no problem. It's less cool, I mean, but yeah, you can do it too. So now that we are in Android, there is something that you absolutely need to change. It's to go to player setting, Yeah, each time it appears on my screen on the top. It's not done yet on my side. Okay. So in player settings, there is something that you really need to change. It's in the auto setting. You need here to change the name of the package name. So it's because every application you are doing on Android need to have an ID, and if they don't have an ID, it will crash. If they have an ID of an application that's already existing, it will overwrite it. So here I will call it BE for Belgium, Illustre because it's my organization name, dot, and make some tests with open macro input. Yeah, it's a bit too long. Test OMI. Yay! Try to have a serious name, not just test OMI, but here for me it will be test OMI. Know that in the new version of Unity you cannot easily compile for the old phone. So if you have a phone with version 4.2, sorry guys, you will have to learn a lot of stuff to do what we are doing now, because you will need to install Java, to install Android Studio and or Android SDK, and understand how to fix it to the Unity system. So good luck. But if you really need, ask me and I will maybe do a video, maybe help you, I don't know. But I have done it, I know how to do it, but it takes long of time. So here 4.4 minimum. When you have done that, you can close this window. If you want to give a name to your application, it was on the top here, so I will still call it delete me, like this. Up. I will now say that I want to build and run the application. Give a folder that is called build. It's convention to call this folder build and to ignore it in your project. Test OMI. Okay. And when you press build, you need your phone to be connected. I suppose that you watch a video about how to do an application on Android, but if you don't, to be able to do that, you need your phone to be developer. So you need to go in the preference, go on the ID of your phone, click 7 times to say I'm a developer, and then you just say your phone that he allow USB debugging, and from there your phone will accept application that you create in Unity. If you don't do that, you will not be able to do that, because to protect the user of your the user of the phone, all the Android system are blocking the installation of a no source application. Okay, so go watch a video on YouTube about Android and Unity, and then come back to this one if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. I realized that it must be really not fun for you, because you have my voice and 1 second of delay in the Kinect. It's lagging. Like this it's better. Yeah, like this is better. Yeah, it's because I'm using a Kinect as webcam, so sometimes there is some delay when I don't do anything. So for the moment, as you can see, it's building the application, so it takes some time. There's some technique to diminish this time it's taking to compile, but yeah, it takes some time to build on Android. So we will need to, I will make a break.
Yeah.
Hello again, and so after this small break, the application is built on the phone. As you can see here, it builds, so it should build on your side. If it's not building on your side, I don't know. I will not ask you to ask me question on the comment, because I will not have time to answer. But there is something you did wrong. Felicitation. But my friend succeeds, so it's my Italian, my calibration guy, how you say. So here you have this application running on your phone now, and as you can see, you can type some stuff. You can type the IP. Here you have configuration, like I said in the first part of the video. And when you switch to run server here, basically it means that it will trigger a code behind that is running on your phone. and it will send information on your PC at this address, I mean, with the good port. Sorry, it's a bit blurry, but that's what's happening. But I did not show you how to download the Java file. So I will show you a bit what it is. So what's a Java file? If you want to edit the file yourself, so it's an open source project. So if you say, Eloi, you are doing some shit, your code is really bad, I want to do better, then you can go on the GitLab and take my code and improve it. So I will show you what it looked like. Apparently he did not open my project. Okay, so open. So you need to have Eclipse. Here Cyril will not download Eclipse just to do that, so I show him just a bit what is inside for the fun. Program, open macro in, no, it's not here, it's in no, it must be here, and then open macro, Java, yeah, this is this one. It's not a file, it's a project that I need to open. Directory. Whoop up, up. Yeah, I'm giving some little music to. You have an 11 time music, Cyril? Okay, here. Okay, so I opened the project that is an Eclipse project. So for people who don't know what is Java, it's a programming language that tell you to speak with a. Why he did not add it? Because I did not close it, I suppose. Yeah, Eclipse is really boring sometimes because you need to close the project and. Okay, I think that I will maybe not show you because it means that I need to make it work and it's boring because it should, but Eclipse is boring. It's really powerful and I use it all the time, but for the part of when you lose a project you want to reopen it. Okay, cool. So what the code look like behind? So you have something that is called Java, that is a language that will speak with your PC. And the good part of Java is that technically it works on every platform that support Java. So it means that if you want to use my code of the phone on the Raspberry Pi, you just need to install Java on the Raspberry Pi and you can control the Raspberry Pi from a distance. That's amazing. If you want to do it for Mac, you can also do it, but you need to install the Java runtime on the Mac because Mac don't support Java anymore. And so here you can see that I have a small, some small code here, and I have something that is called command parser, and this command parser, as you can see, he will try to guess if the code you are sending me is a code that is something to execute. So for example here you can send some keystroke and he will take the small code you send and try to see if it is yes or not what you are asking for. I try to find a more easy example, and this is this one. For example, if you want to ask to move the mouse of someone on the screen, the command you need to send on the UDP part is dot the number of pixels you want to move and the other number of pixels you want to move from XY. So if I execute this code on my tool, it will take the mouse and put it here, something like there. If you want to use percent, you can say I want to have 0.5% up and 0.5%, and it means that it will move my mouse here in the middle of the screen. So I will take that and I will check, is it moving the screen or is it adding some small parts. So if I press A here, if I put A, it will instead add some distance to my mouse. So you can see that basically it's just some small text that I'm sending through the Wi-Fi to your PC. I try to understand them and then I apply them. I will not go on all the code because it will be a long video, and really it's already a long video. But basically it's what I'm doing. I'm just cut this small text, I create a class and I execute it. So when you have modified my shitty code and you are happy because you have done better than me, you can go here and ask to export it as a runnable Java file here. And when you have done that, you just click here up and you say, I finish, I want to override my last version. Yes, and tada! Here you have now a code that you can launch. So I will show you. Boop, boop, boop. My program, where it was in no, it was here. So now you have this little file that you can give to your friend and that you can use on your USB key. So yeah, if you want, you can take a USB key, you put it on a PC and you launch the Java file. And if the PC has Java, it means that you can control the PC. So if you want to do bad stuff, you can. Don't do it, but you can. Okay, so I just launched this stuff here. And ta-da! The application is running, and as you can see here, it's a port that is 250N1. The idea is that you can change that, because if you want, because if you don't like that I'm using this port because you're using it for another application, you can change it. So it's why here I have a Raccourci, for example, a shortcut. So if I use the shortcut here, it will just give some parameter that allow me to change this port. Ta-da! But it's not the subject of the video. So when you have that on your PC, it's good. So we say, yeah, but I don't want to compile all that. Yeah, you're true. So if you don't want to compile this jar, all you need to do is to go on the toolbox. So I remind you, it's edouardstray.page.link/toolbox here. So you can do that, Cyril, if you want. You click here on Java OMI runtime. And as you can see, you have access to the code I show you in Eclipse, and also the jar file, the last jar file I have done, that is available to you. So you just need to download that on your PC and you should be good. Yep. Here, as you can see, he is saying, hey, it's dangerous for you. And it's true, it's dangerous for you. I will still use it. But it's also why this project is totally open source. It's because I cannot do a project that is controlling your PC and doing some stuff if someone cannot check behind if the code is not dangerous for you. So my way of not having to do plenty of stuff is to just give you the code in open source. It means that if you build your own, it's your own code. So it means that all that you see in your code is yours. There is no, you can check the code and see if there is some bad stuff in it. So don't accept the code of someone that you don't respect. If you respect me, download mine. Thank you. But if you don't trust me, build your own. Okay. On that said, is it working on the side, Cyril? Cyril? Oh shit.
Yes.
Is it working on the side? I will check your screen.
Yeah, it's working, yeah.
So, can you show your screen?
Oh, yeah.
If this part work for Cyril, what I will do in the following of the video is to show you what script is in my Unity project and how to use them and how to craft your own. So stay tuned. Yep. Okay, so here you have your Windows with the program, and if you connect it with the phone, so if in the phone you type this address IP and your phone must be on the same Wi-Fi. Your phone is on the same Wi-Fi.
I didn't put the application on the tablet already. I have to do that. So
yeah, but you built it earlier, no? Yeah, it's build succeed.
Yeah, I already built it, so I have to remind how to put on the tablet.
So you just need to connect your tablet to the PC, as it's already developer. You said like as you said to me. Or if you don't want to make build and run, you just copy here the APK
Okay.
But you should be able to just push build and run, Cyril. Just here, and then you put your APK where you want to store it. Yeah. So a little break, just the time that I check with Cyril that it's working, and then I come back. See you next time in like 2 seconds for you.